Monday Scrum.
Hello and welcome to the Monday Scrum, joined as usual by Brent Read and Benji Marshall. It was an incredible weekend of footy. Reedy, you're not happy today, are you? You came in a bit grumpy.
Well, can you clarify something for me, Em? Because I'm confused. I asked for a mineral water downstairs. Yeah. Now, when you ask for mineral water, that's bubbly. It's bubbly, right?
You have to ask for sparkling water.
Well, when did mineral water become plain water? I paid $3.50.
It's water from the springs.
Could have got it out the tap. Seriously.
Seriously, I'll give you $3.50 to cheer you up.
So I got to ask for sparkling water.
That's what normally people do when they want sparkling.
First world problems here.
I know.
You learn something every day, so you can't win everything, Reedy.
Damn.
Anyway, speaking of winning, the Roosters won their first ever NRLW premiership. Wow. I was up there at Redcliffe. It was an incredible game and so good for the competition that in our fourth season, I mean, the Broncos won the first three, but we have for the first time brand new premiers. Did you enjoy what you saw
how
from
was
the
it?
competition
Because
this
the
season?
atmosphere looked hectic.
I was worried when we didn't have a Queensland team. I thought, I'm not sure how it would be, but almost 10,000 there. It was so incredible. They felt so close as well because that ground at Redcliffe, it feels close. They had lots going on for the kids outside. They had all these tents and music and activation. So it was a good atmosphere. And it was just such a good game.
I really enjoyed it, eh? I think the fact that the NRL is heavily backing the NRLW and it's getting televised and getting a lot of movement, a lot of traction, I think that made it a better spectacle because of the support they're getting.
Yeah.
You know? And for me, the standard of their game has gone to another level this year.
Yeah.
Like Emma Tonegata, I know she got Dally M in that, but she is a superstar.
Yeah.
You know, the skills on display. What impressed me the most is from the kickoff, they were into each other.
Yeah.
You know, it was actually like a grand final atmosphere. They were smashing each other, running their hardest. You could feel the emotion, you know, and they should be really proud. I thought it was a fantastic grand final. I thought the Dragons were going to win, to be honest.
I think many people did. I think a lot of people wrote off the Roosters because they lost their first two games. They only snuck into the semis. They were watching that last round from home, crossing their fingers that results went their way. So they only snuck into the semis, upset the Broncos. But that just goes to show that the longer competitions work because previously, if you got off to a slow start, you were screwed. Whereas the longer the competition goes, you've got a chance to come back. So when they extend the competition next year and we've got 8 teams.
Is that the next competition
So at
coming?
the end of the year, we'll still have 6.
not the next one.
Not the next one.
Right.
So the end of the season, which is 2022, will still be 6. Next year will be 8 and the following year will be 10.
You know, my favourite part of the game, apart from the game itself, it was a really good game. But what was the girl? You have to help me here. The girl who won with the Ruan Sims medal, the man of the match. Was it the Ruan?
The Karen Murphy medal.
Karen Murphy medal.
Sarah
sorry.
Togatuki.
How
her
good
run
was
at the
her
end.
speech? She was
Oh, yeah.
outstanding. Brilliant speech.
Talk us through it.
Well, she just praised God, and then she praised everyone, and she was so happy.
Yeah, she was, wasn't she?
I knew. I just wanted you to say
You
it.
didn't think I'd seen it, did you? It was a great speech.
And she was calling everyone sis.
She
It's a
was.
Corbyn, my sis.
Just the enthusiasm, the passion, and the love for what she was doing. It was so. And she's such a good player.
Yeah, and you know what? It was lucky she was even there because she had to go to the judiciary and she got her charge downgraded.
Right,
so she was lucky to be there. And she's been at the Roosters since the beginning. So she's one of only a few players who have been at the Roosters for all season. So
I think
it was very fitting.
The sooner they
won.
expand it and grow it, you can see the traction it's getting in the community and amongst rugby league fans.
They just got to make them full time.
Well, they do. Well, they're heading down that. I think they're getting a pay rise later in the year, aren't they?
They're still to finalise the CBA, but next year, when they expand to 8 teams, 2 from each team are going to be full-time.
Yeah.
So it's a start.
And they should be.
But even Benji mentioned Emma Tonegata, but it just goes to show she's been in the 7 system, which has been professional for a long time. So you can see when they are full-time athletes, the skill level they have. So then hopefully that can transfer to everyone else.
I loved it. I thought it was a great competition. I can't wait for the next one to see how much angry the Broncos have in them.
They will be.
Oh.
But I think it was good for the competition. It's a busy year, so they'll go back to their state comps. There's Origin, the season at the end of the year, plus they've got World Cup.
So
there's a lot of footy.
So when will that comp at the end of the year run the last? It runs over the final series and the last
7 weeks. So it'll start, I guess, around round 23 of the men's and grand final will be on grand final day.
Bring it on.
Nah, good on them. Great stuff, ladies.
Good on them. So
Phenomenal.
it was a great weekend for the women's game. Not such a great weekend for the poor old West Tigers.
Poor
That was a
Tigers.
30-4 loss to the Sharks. Now, we'll get the negativity over and done with to start with.
Oh, so you're coming to me first?
No, I'm just...
That's what you're saying?
Well, you're creating headlines generally. Before we do, though, maybe let's just have a listen to what our good mate Gordon Tallis had to say during the commentary.
Luke Brooks has given up. I've watched him for 20 minutes. There's a couple of times he could have pushed through and just made an extra man. He's standing there, he's making his tackles. He hasn't done one thing for his forwards. He hasn't made it a bit easier for the guys to get out of their tough end. He hasn't moved any of the Sharks around. He hasn't done any early spreads. He hasn't done anything to help him. Could you imagine Tommy Radonicus wearing the 7 for West? How competitive he was. Alan Langer, Andrew Johns. Just compete. We're not talking about ability.
Yeah.
Wow. He did not hold back. You know, Dan actually gave him an opportunity. Dan, which wasn't in that audio, Dan said, you know, all the clickbaiters out there are going to clip this up. It's going to be the headline tomorrow. Are you standing by these comments? And he said, yes, I am. What did you make of them, Reedy?
I felt sorry for Luke Brooks for a long time. I think I've said before, I said it on here, I don't think, he's enjoying his footy. I don't think he's enjoying playing under Michael Maguire. I've said one of them has to go. I've been saying that for a year now, basically, that I don't think the two of them can coexist at that club. And I think it's just further evidence that it's just not working when it comes to those two guys. I don't know why. I don't think Luke's got an issue with Madge. I know Madge hasn't got an issue with Luke, but I just think it's a bit like oil and water, the two of them, and it's reflected in how he's going on the football field.
What happens with oil and water?
They don't get on, do they? Have I got that
They
wrong?
don't-
Is
they
that the
don't.
wrong saying? Or
No, I don't know.
No,
I'm just trying to- I don't
The
know.
oil
No,
will
I
sink.
don't think they blend, do they?
Oh, okay, yeah,
They
right.
separate,
Sorry, I was just trying to work it out.
Anyway. So anyway, I just don't think it's. I don't think it's a great mix. I don't think it's been a great mix for a long time. And I feel for Luke Brooks because I think he's a really good footballer. I thought he's a really good footballer for a long time, but it's been a long time since we've seen that guy.
Yeah, I really respect Gordon's opinion and stuff, and I feel sorry for Luke because he's singled him out. And in a team of 17 players, I reckon there's probably 16 other people on the field who didn't get a mention. And, as a halfback, you're an easy target in any team, especially when you're losing, and when you're in a franchise that hasn't made the semi-finals for 10 years, they look at someone who's been there the most time. So that is Luke, So I do feel sorry for him because I know how hard he works. And, they've started the season, 0-5 now? You were right. I think 2 weeks ago, did you say they could be 0-7? And I blew up.
Well, they got the Eels and Rabbitohs, so there's a...
Well, I mean,
A fair chance they'll
they
be
will
0-7.
be 0-7. They will not win those two games. There's no way they'll win
No
those
one's
two
going to
games.
give them a chance, no.
No.
Are they? Except themselves, probably. But
Well, so in the off-season, Luke Brooks asked to go to Newcastle,
Well,
correct?
I don't think Luke Brooks, just to clarify, Luke Brooks didn't ask. His representatives asked whether the club would consider releasing him.
And they said no.
And they said no twice. That was before Christmas. So, they would have done that with Luke's knowledge. I mean, that'd be naive to think they didn't. But the club, basically said no, he's staying. I'm not sure they've softened their view on that, given, what's happened in the last month or so. They've got Jackson Hastings, I think, back. Is he back this week?
yeah,
Do you
this
think?
week, yeah.
Madge's got a decision to make because, he's been pretty supportive of Luke, but the way Luke's going, it wouldn't surprise me if he sticks him on the bench or maybe drops him.
Yeah, it's a big call. Well, the problem for them is they got 10 players unavailable for selection. So out of a squad of 30 and like 4 developments, there's 24 to choose from. So does he make 7 changes? I don't know. It's a big ask, but they're just not playing well. They're just on the weekend they weren't completing high enough, and I actually feel sorry for all of them. Madge, the team, because I've been in that situation. I haven't been 0-5, but I've been in a situation where you go through a tough time and everyone's talking about, does the coach have to go? Whose fault is it? And the only way to get out of it is to win.
What is it like? Because you can't escape it. Even if you don't watch these shows, there are things on social media. Friends are saying stuff to you, and
when you're on the inside, it's a bit different because you try and focus inward. So, like they'll be saying now, don't read any papers, don't watch any TV. Let's keep all our focus in what we can do. And they'll try and shelter the players from that, but it's impossible to ignore. Like everywhere you go, it's going to be talked about.
Yeah.
And I suppose for Tigers fans, everyone just wants to taste of success again, and it's been like 10 years or whatever it is since that. And
it feels further away right now than it has for 10 years. In the 10 years, at least, they finished 9th a few times, but
I
they've
think
got
a few of the
9th,
fans would
11th,
take
13th.
9th this year.
Oh, they'd love 9th, I'd imagine, wouldn't they? And, we've spoken about Madge before in this show, but when I mentioned the 0-7 a few weeks ago, I said at 0-7 it becomes untenable. Well, they're going to be 0-7.
Well, Buzz wrote an article today
Yeah,
about Madge has got a couple of weeks left to go. I don't know if you saw it.
I didn't see it. No.
Yeah, he said he's probably 2 weeks away from losing his job, and that's 0-7.
Yep.
But I suppose from watching Madge in the press conference, he's still fighting for his players, and they're on the field not producing performances. So I hope it doesn't come to that, but Jesus, 0-7's tough.
Yeah,
It's tough.
real
With
tough.
Jackson Hastings coming back, you mentioned the option of putting Brooksy on the bench. Would you put Jackson Hastings some suggestions? Maybe he could move to lock. Is that an option?
Well, he's big enough. I mean, what's he
Well,
weigh?
didn't they say they signed him to play lock?
Yeah, I think you're right, Benj. And he's big. He's a big bloke, right? I mean,
105 kilos.
105 kilos. So in the modern game, you see these locks now like Isaiah Yeo and Cam Murray and Victor Radley. The way they play the game, I could see Jackson Hastings playing that role. It makes a bit of sense to me.
Yeah, he could play that role for sure. That's what I thought they signed him for.
Yeah.
To be honest, if when Dewey comes back, he's going to be 5'8".
Yeah,
They need him back.
yeah, big time. But he's not back, I think, to round 14. That's the
around
problem.
it's a
13.
while.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, there's no real hope around the corner for them. That's the other issue.
there's no quick fix either.
There's no quick fix, and it doesn't get easier; it gets harder for them. So I don't know. I mean, even if you decide to move on the coach now, I'm not sure anyone would really want to come in at 0-7, for example, and take over. So I imagine the best course.
I don't know, man. I reckon thered be coaches hanging to
Really?
have an opportunity. Well,
Wouldn't
there's only
they-
16 jobs a year.
Wouldn't they rather say, look, how about I come in the
Not a
Do you
coach that
reckon-
is out
do
of
you,
a job.
Do you reckon if they went and asked Jeff Tuvey, Shane Flanagan,
No,
all
they
those
would- yeah,
coaches,
that's
A
true.
coach that is out of a job
yeah,
surely
okay.
would jump
Yeah.
at anything.
Of
But if
course.
you're like a Serraldo, you can wait for the best
Yes.
opportunity, like Fitzy did.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
suppose.
you're right. Sorry. I mean, if they decide to go that path with a Flanagan or a Tuvey or someone like that, then I'd imagine they come straight in. But if you're going to go for a Serraldo or a Christian Wolf or someone like that, I'd imagine they're going to want to. They will want to wait till the end of the
unless
year.
they think they can fix it. Unless they genuinely think they can change.
Yeah, I don't think that those blokes are just. What little I know about Cameron Sorrello, he's not going to leave Penrith mid-season.
No
That's
chance.
the issue. I mean, I'm not sure Cameron would take the job.
Oh, I don't know.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know, Cameron. So I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
So anyway,
Tough
see what
few
happens.
weeks ahead for the Tigers.
Ooh.
Sharkies are flying high, 4 from
Flying.
5. That is their best start to a season since 2008.
Wow.
And they would probably even argue they weren't really great yesterday, a bit clunky in attack.
Well, that's
but,
when you know they're a good team.
yeah.
When they don't play their best game and they still win.
Mm.
Like, if you go through their team, right, like, there's a lot of, I suppose, unsurety around how Nico Hines was going to go at halfback. Well, he shut all those up because he's been one of the form players
He's
of
been
the comp.
great, hasn't he?
Matt Moylan's found a new lease on life with Fitzgibbon there, and the way he's coaching, the way he's playing, he's been outstanding. But I think the most underestimated player in their side for me is Will Kennedy.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
he doesn't get all the raps that a lot of the other fullbacks get, but he's doing the same amount of work and having the most effect on the game. And their wingers, I honestly believe their wingers are two of the best in the game at the moment, especially finishing tries.
Well, that try by Katoa was
He
ridiculous.
is unbelievable, Qatar. Even Mulatalo, like he's
Yeah.
doing Origin, out of Origin,
Yeah.
Anyway, but they're
Don't
two of the
bring that
best.
up, Benji.
They're,
It still hurts us
they're two of the
Queenslanders.
best in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're wingers.
Yeah.
I think they're great. So I think they're a massive chance of doing something in the competition.
He's just about going to be coach of the year, Craig Fitzgibbon. That
Already?
keeps
Yeah.
going the way.
Early
5
contender.
rounds in, I'm calling it after 5 rounds. Coach
Well,
of the
could
year.
Nico be?
Fitzy.
They could get bye of the year.
Well, he
coach
is
of
by the year at the moment.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you who got things wrong in the off season. The Broncos, because they went after Nico Hines. And in hindsight, they should have broken the bank to get him.
Excuse the pun.
You know,
Hindsight.
Hines.
Oh, yeah, sorry. But
His brain doesn't
yeah,
work
sorry, I'm a
that
bit
quickly.
slow. I'm a bit slow, Benj. But they're desperate. Their spine.
How much did
desperately-
they offer him?
Well, not enough, clearly. But, they sat in the boardroom and talked to him, and ultimately he chose to go to Cronulla when, you consider, I think if you look at Brisbane now, their spine's one of their, aside from Adam Reynolds, they're deficient in their spine. And Nico could have played 5'8" or fullback there and done a really good job. I think Brisbane, probably in hindsight, should have gone a lot harder at Nico Hines.
To be fair, they look pretty good on the weekend, Brisbane.
They did, yeah.
I
they
thought
had a
that's the
go.
best they've played.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
had a
they
go.
had the Roosters struggling there at 10-0 for a while and looked like they're going to win the game. Tony Staggs
He was good,
come
wasn't he?
from nowhere. Like, that was his best performance all year.
Yeah.
But that's what we know he can do. If they play like that for the rest of the year, they're a big chance. But if they go inconsistent like they have been, they're going to struggle.
Mm.
There we go. Even Robbo gave the Broncos a rap and said,
Did he?
thought he played some good footy.
There you go.
There we
they
go.
were
No,
good.
we don't all have to agree with you though, Reedy. That's fine.
Did you not think they were good?
No, I thought they were good, yeah.
That was their best game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I thought they were good. They played
Roosters
pretty
are a
good.
top four
they had a
side.
go week 1 against South. I thought they were right.
Well, they won, yeah.
Yeah.
You should use the hindsight in one of your articles.
Nah,
soon.
don't do it.
It's a good headline, that one, isn't it?
Exactly.
Hindsight.
There you go.
Oh, I get it now.
Oh, what?
Sorry. Sorry, I'm just
Are you serious?
How did you just get that?
I don't know.
Oh, my gosh.
Anyway,
Oh, you're a gibberer. All right.
hindsight, that's clever.
It's time for our favourite segment of the week.
Benji Marshall. Benji Marshall. Oh, Benji Marshall. Marshall's Law.
Benji, what was your main takeaway from this round?
Well, I know this is a bit Captain Obvious, but the top 4 teams at the moment are flying and the rest are struggle street. I mean, Storm, Penrith, Para and Cronulla just look like they can't get anything wrong, and the rest of the teams look like they're sort of making up the numbers at the moment. I reckon if South Sydney can get it right and they get Latrell back and find some form, they could probably challenge those teams, but the rest, I'm not too sure. I guess when you're the premiers from the year before, like Penrith, everyone's coming after you, but they won 3 from 3 without Nathan. He comes back and they just look like the powerhouse again. Isaiah Yeo, lock of the year at the moment. You know, him and Cameron Murray do some good stuff, but I think Isaiah's just leading that department at the moment. And Parramatta, I know we put them in the grand final, but again, they reconfirmed on the weekend. I know they let the back end Titans come back after the sin bin to Junior Paulo, but they're a massive hope. And I think Penrith can go back to back.
Do you reckon Isaiah Yeo would have been filthy at the weekend because he's leading the Dally M?
And he got taken off
And
early.
he got taken off with 20 to go.
No, I don't reckon.
No.
He's not one of those players who plays for awards,
Okay.
but we can say that he's filthy.
Do that as your next
Would
headline.
you be
I would have
filthy?
been filthy, yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
But
Chance
do
to
you,
win
do you
the Dally
reckon
M?
from those top 4 sides that anyone else is challenging at the moment?
Not at the moment, no.
Do you reckon anyone else can beat him?
Maybe Manly when Tommy's back. Maybe.
How long's he out for, though?
3 or 4 more weeks, I think. Maybe the Roosters.
Oh, Roosters.
let's not
sorry.
go down that path,
No,
Benj.
Roosters. No, we can.
You and I have been
No,
down
I
that
think
path.
I think Roosters are back.
let's leave them and their halves
good.
out of this
No,
conversation.
actually, sorry, the Roosters are back too after
Yeah,
the
they
weekend.
Maybe
were.
Manly. Well, look, there were 6 sides. Well, sorry, I can't remember who the 6th one is because Cronulla's a new one in that. So before the season
It'll be
started,
Roosters, South.
I thought there were 6 sides that
Yeah.
were legitimate hopes.
Yeah.
Which was Melbourne, Para, Penrith, Manly,
Cronulla.
South, and one more. I
West
can't-
Tigers.
the Roosters, maybe. So, but
Yeah, probably Roosters.
Cronulla's probably in that now. But I think Manly, if Tommy's back and
Yeah.
they're on song, I think
Yeah,
they're
no,
an
no, you're right.
outside
You're
chance.
What about even for Penrith? They've got Brian Toto out and
Oh.
Taylor May's killing it, and
Yeah.
Isaac Tago, after only playing a couple of first grade games and getting a shot this year again,
He's been brilliant.
it's been
hasn't
incredible.
he? I think when Toto comes back, surely Staines
I think so.
He's
probably
gone.
has to make way, doesn't he? For Taylor May.
Or if I'm a recruitment officer, I'll be going and checking what Taylor May's contract is when he comes off, and trying to get him.
Yeah.
Even the young centre, you know.
Tago.
Oh, absolutely.
He's been brilliant, hasn't he?
Mate, phenomenal.
Just a production line out there.
Anyway, the last part of my segment thing I wanted to say is if you need to score points, I'd go and chase Scott Drinkwater from the Cowboys.
He's got some points in him, hasn't he?
Well, I watched on the weekend. He was in everything. Like
Mm.
he can play, and he hasn't been getting an opportunity because they had the Hammer at fullback. Then the Hammer got injured. They put him in. Yeah, if I'm Tigers, I'm going to chase him.
Oh, hello.
Oh, there we
Mm.
go.
Well, you
Heard
are,
it here
aren't
first.
you are Tigers,
Well,
aren't
I'm
you?
not. I don't. No, I'm not.
You're in there somewhere.
You can. I think they'd listen to you.
No, they don't listen to me.
You've got Paul.
No,
Go
that's
knock
the thing.
on
I
Tiger
don't.
Tim's door.
Hey,
Don't knock on Tiger Tim's door,
I reckon
Timmy.
Tiger Tim might be looking at him.
Oh, hold on.
Ooh.
Oh, the Reedy's mail. Three-quarter.
Let's change Reedy's mouth.
No, I just
No,
think
that was going to be my mail. Actually,
yeah,
it ruined
yeah,
it.
sure.
I think he's a gun. I think he can
Yeah.
play footy, you know, and hasn't got a lot of opportunities
I
lately.
think a lot of people were actually surprised that he didn't go in the off. There was some talk that he might leave in the off
Right.
season. I think because they had obviously they got moving Hammer to fullback and then Dearden
Dearden
and
and
Dearden
Townsend.
had the edge on him for 6, and I think there was a chance that maybe he'd look at going. But
I
you're
like
right.
him.
I
I
mean,
like
he's-
him.
He's a real attacking threat, isn't he?
You want to score points, you need something. I like what he brings.
Mm.
Anyway,
There
that's
you
it.
go. Watch
Yeah,
this
I like
space.
that.
Keep your eye on Drinkwater, indeed.
To the Tigers.
Ooh. Well, there were plenty of eyes on Cole Flanagan on the weekend, actually all week.
Yeah.
It was a debacle, and that's been spoken about at length, but what did you make of his performance? No one really expected them to beat Penrith, but with the opportunities he had, Trent Barrett was impressed.
I thought he was great.
Yeah.
I thought he was great. I thought he did exactly what he had to do. He defended. I think he missed a tackle early, but after that he was really good. He got involved. I think he had a try assist.
He kicked for Tavita.
Yeah.
Yep.
And there was another try where Dylan Edwards pulled off a miraculous tackle that he gave the last pass for. I thought he was outstanding. I thought he was great. Exactly what they needed. He did exactly what he had to do, and he'll be there next week.
Well, for a guy who was under the amount of pressure he was leading into that game, I thought he handled it great. There's a lot of talk about something that was really nothing. As a first grader, all you want to do is get selected in the side for an opportunity to show what you can do, right? And he got selected, and I thought he stood up. And out of all the people that played halfback, I thought he was probably the most solid. So, give them that opportunity. If they can limit their errors, though, the Dogs, and stop making mistakes, then they're way more chance of winning games.
They made so many mistakes in that game.
So many bad ones too.
I mean, Matt Dufty
hurt.
just had the...
Yeah, people had
Matt
those
Dufty.
days,
It happens occasionally, but he had a shocking day, Matt Dufty. But so many errors. They just shot themselves in the foot. I mean, you can't do that against you can't do that against anyone, let alone Penrith. They will just kill you. So, no, it was good. I spoke to Kyle after the game, actually. He was really good about it all. He said he tried to avoid all the media during the week, but he said it's really hard when your head keeps popping up on the television and people are talking about you. But I don't know if you've spoken to him. I assume you've spoken to him, Benj, right? Kyle Flanagan over the years.
Not recently, but yeah.
Yeah, he's a really
I spoke to him. He came in for promo shoots.
Sorry, I thought you meant like recently.
No, just
he
over
came
the
in
years.
for promo shoots to 9 before the season began, and I felt like he just seemed really calm, really mature. He even made a joke about the fact that he said, there'll be no crying in front of TV cameras this year, had
he's
a bit
really
of a,
young fellow when you
yeah.
speak to him. He's
It's okay.
a nice, intelligent, well-spoken. He's a nice bloke.
Good kid.
Good, and you like to see blokes like that have some success, especially after the week he went through. But he'll be there again next week. The key for him is he's now got to back that up and do it again next week. And I can't remember who Canterbury got next week.
Yeah, but it's not
Do we know?
It's not just on him though. Like
No,
it's
I
the
know,
whole team. If you're halfback and you're getting dominated through the middle, it's hard to win games. The more their middles go, the better they look. And I thought they can hold their own. They got the players.
They've got Souths.
Hmm.
Who they got?
South next week.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's okay, mate. You want to play against the best teams to see where you're at. Challenge yourself.
Souths aren't exactly flying either. To be fair, they were a bit clunky
They
against
were
the
clunky
Dragons.
on the weekend.
So
They defended pretty good though. That's probably what helped them.
yeah,
But I reckon it's good when you can have Cody had a pretty quiet game by his standards, but I thought
Ilias was good.
when your best players are not playing as well and they lost Latrell early,
Yeah,
to win that game was a big win for them.
yeah.
I thought. Build their season. Big Rusty was in the sheds.
How good was that?
Yeah.
You tight with Rusty as well?
No, I've got his email.
I am.
We email each other occasionally.
Yeah.
Are you good with him?
Yeah, me and Rusty are tight.
You been up the farm?
Nah, man, we just talk about movies and stuff. Yeah.
What's your
Why-
favourite
Gladiator.
one? Yeah, that's
Why
the best.
have you not over the years got yourself a cameo in a Russell Crowe movie?
Not for me. I'll leave those to the Burgess brothers.
I'd be trying to.
Yeah, what did
I'd be trying to do that. if
get
I
him
was-
one of his movies?
Yes, if I was a player.
Why do you
Not
want
all us want to be actors, Reedy.
Well, no, I just want to make
what,
a
just
cameo.
for the money or
No,
the,
I'd do it for nothing. I'd pay him.
why don't you give a call out to Russell
Rusty, if
Crowe
you're
right
listening,
now?
I'm available. Just for a cameo
What
role.
type- what
I'll play a
type of
dwarf. Whatever you need.
I'll send them. I'll send them some of your.
I'm short.
I'll send them some of your clips from 360.
Oh, yeah, okay. I might get a boxing movie.
I don't
Anyway,
think he'd pick you.
What about Matt Johns on Friday night? I don't know whether you saw this. Did you ever watch Matt Johns' show after the footy?
Or Sunday?
Thursday.
No, the
Oh,
Thursday
the
night.
Thursday night. I didn't know.
He was talking about the Braith and I having the argument, and he started going, I'd be careful of Brent Read. You know he represented Australia in judo at the Commonwealth Games.
Did you?
No.
Oh.
Where it came from. He said he won a bronze medal. And I'm watching it
wow.
going, what the hell are you on about, Matty?
He's just trying to scare Braith.
Yeah.
Wow,
Good.
there we go.
I think
Anyway,
Maybe
just
I tell you what
can
we
I
should
clarify
get.
that? I didn't
You
represent
know, at the end
Australia in judo.
of the end of the season,
Yeah.
how the Rose Boys and No Limit put on those
Oh, I
footy
know.
fight nights and the footy players fight.
Yeah.
We should get you on one and
Who's he
fight one of
going
the
against, Buzz?
journos.
Oh, yes. I backed myself there.
No, I reckon Buzz has got you.
Do you know years ago, Dean Lottingham was going to do that, and he was going to pit Glenn Jackson, your biographer,
Jacko,
Benji,
yeah.
was going to fight James Hooper.
Oh, I'd back
Jacko
Hoops.
would have got dropped.
Yeah. Hoops is a unit.
Mate, Hoops is massive.
Yeah, they were going to fight. And it was
Wow.
going to be one of the, those rugby league boxing nights that Dino
Yeah,
used to do.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good idea.
That was going to
actually.
be one of the prelims.
If you,
Jacko
if
v-
you had to fight one journo, who would you take on and be confident?
Oh, Buzz, please.
Apart from
Buzz,
Buzz.
yeah.
Apart from
What about
Buzz.
Kenty?
You
Kenty's a
know,
boxer.
I'd like
Yeah.
to really belt Mick Carrianis.
But he's your colleague.
I know. I'd like to smash him though, just
I
once.
reckon he might get you.
And he's on the ABC, so
All right.
it'd be good to put
Ooh,
one. You know,
rivals.
just drop him.
Anyway, you can wear headgears and that.
Yeah,
Mouth
okay.
guard.
We'll
I'd
arra-
love
we'll
to see you
arrange
in
it.
mouth guard and headgear.
No, you can't. You
I'll
can't
wear it
wear
next
headgear.
week.
You
You
can't
have
wear. If you
to.
do
No,
it,
no
do it
headgear.
properly.
No headgear. Yeah.
By
and
the
those
way,
horsehair gloves. The ones
Did you
that really
see
hurt.
Ashley Sims?
Oh, what a
Oh,
Oh,
fight.
that
amazing.
was incredible.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Not as
Great,
incredible as the next segment.
Here we go.
Reedy's mail.
He can do it all. He can write. He can box. He can deliver some mail.
Judo.
So
I
you better
can't do a segue like Benji. How good
That
was
was
that
good.
segue?
He's a host now.
Yeah, he is.
That's right,
true.
yeah. Judo.
Yeah, judo. I can do judo. Yeah.
What do you have for
Come on,
us?
well, let's
oh
talk,
no, so
well,
Anthony Milford.
Anthony Milford. Yeah.
The charges have been dropped.
Well,
is that correct?
so the assault charges have been
Yes.
dropped. He was pleaded guilty, I think, to public nuisance and willful damage.
So what does that mean? What's
so-
willful damage?
I think. Well, he threw a wheelie bin and hit a car in a fit of rage. Yeah. Well, anyway, I don't think he meant to hit the car. It was a, anyway. But that's neither here nor there in the scheme of things. Well, it is, but I'm
Anyway.
thinking Holly. We'll,
Yeah,
we'll
just
move
carry
on.
on, mate. Where you going?
So basically, obviously had that deal with South Sydney that fell over. I've reached out to South today. That deal is dead. That will not be. He will not be at South this year. Newcastle is the other team that's shown a bit of interest in Anthony Milford, and I believe they were going to contact the integrity unit today to find out just what the next step is in terms of getting him up to Newcastle and getting him in their system. They're going to have to wait. They'll suspect that the NRL is not going to be in a hurry on this. They're going to conduct their own investigation
Why?
now. That's the way they roll, Benj.
I know, but why? His charges got dropped.
Well, excuse me. Well, I think the NRL's got to decide on punishment for him as well. That's the issue. I mean, the NRL has to, and they will now.
Well, it can't be for the whole season.
No, it won't be for the whole season. I wouldn't have thought.
We've let worse things play.
Yeah, well, it won't be. I won't think it'll be for the whole season. But he's missed 5 games already. I mean, that's a pretty hefty punishment in itself.
Yeah, and the stand down.
It's cost him a fair chunk of cash because the South deal's fallen over now. So the integrity unit will get all the information from the police. They'll go through it. They'll make a call on what sanctions they want to bring in against Anthony Milford, and Newcastle will have to wait for that process to play out. So at the moment, Mil's sort of still in limbo.
So, if you had to take a guess, how long do you think it would
Well,
take?
I
A
would have
month?
thought the 5 weeks was enough. The 5 matches were enough.
Yeah.
But
If
my,
the charges have been dropped,
Well,
Is
the
that for-
public nuisance and willful
Yeah.
damage thing, but that doesn't constitute 5 weeks.
but my gut feel at the moment is that he may get longer. I don't think he'll be back this week, for example, which would mean that extends to a 6th week. So,
That's not a hurry. I reckon just the process of being allowed to play again this
Yeah.
season is enough.
Yeah, he'll
Surely.
play again this season. It's
Yeah.
just a matter of how
where do you
soon
think
this
he'll
season.
end up?
Well, he'll be at Newcastle.
Definitely.
I mean, they basically got a deal. I'm pretty sure they got a deal done with him, and then next year he'll be at the Dolphins. I think that deal's just about done as well.
Really?
So yeah. So I mean, his future's pretty well set in stone. It's just a matter of when he can get back to playing football. That's the issue for him at the moment.
Can we check that one with Wayne?
Yeah, I'll ring him.
Dolphin?
Yeah.
Wait,
I think it's in
just call
I
him.
think it's in a draw, that contract. So
Okay, there
Yeah.
we go.
all done and dusted. Basically, text him.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
Good.
Benji's texting Wayne to confirm. In the meantime, what about Matt Dufty?
Well, ask him
Didn't
about
have-
Matt Dufty too while you're at it, Benj, because
he just wrote back. He
Dufty's-
just wrote back. F off, Benji.
Well, Matt Dufty's off contract at the end of the year. So, I mean, obviously he's had that difficult night the other night, Matt Dufty for Canterbury, made a host of errors. I spoke to Trent after the game, actually asked him about Matt Dufty specifically, and he sort of indicated that Dufty would be there again this week. My gut feel is he won't be there next year, though. The club's got to make a call by round 10 on whether they re-sign him. The indications at the moment are that probably won't happen. So Matt Dufty will be back on the open market. I'm not sure what that means for Matt, whether, it's so difficult for him to find a contract this year. Canterbury was sort of the last row of the dice to an extent. So I'm not sure what's going to happen to Matt Dufty. I get the feeling maybe he might have to go to England at the end of the year, which is a bit sad because he's not that old, Matt Dufty. And, we've seen flashes of what he can do, but unfortunately there's just too many nights like Sunday night, and that hurts him,
Yeah.
in terms of other clubs. So, look, Canterbury's going to make a decision the next month or so, but my gut feel is he won't be there.
Okay. watch this space.
Mm.
The pitch invaders.
What about this out of the weekend? This was outrageous. There was about
Which
5,
part?
I think it was 5 pitch invaders over the weekend, which is unbelievable. I spoke to Peter V'landys about this morning, and he's really concerned about it because, obviously no players were injured out of the weekend, but the fear always in this situation is that one of these invaders comes on the field and, attacks a player. So there's some real concern at the NRL about this. There's going to be some talks with the venues, the people who run the venues around the game this week. I would expect there to be a bump up in security for games this weekend. And they don't want to see a repeat of what happened at the weekend because...
No, we can't have that.
No.
They have so many security guards around anyway.
Clearly not enough, them.
Yeah, but
The guy
they
ran on with a
sit
flare.
there and just look around. You know what I mean? Like,
It's easy for someone to just fly past you.
I actually believe, we can't afford to have that. For the players, it's not.
No.
Safety wise, it's not cool.
Did you would have had some street
Yeah,
in
of
your day,
course.
wouldn't you?
Yeah. I was on the field when the big fella got on there a while back. Yeah, I don't want to say.
What was his name?
Yeah. But what I
What'd
will
you say?
say is,
I said, what was that bloke's name again?
Which one?
Wow.
something.
Oh, yeah. The big fellow who jumped on and was nude.
Yeah.
He ran the whole
I don't-
length
I don't
of
wanna
the
say
pitch
it.
from memory.
But
Surely you should know this. Anyway.
I did, yeah.
but
Yeah,
but what I will say is the guy who tackled the lady, it was too much. Like,
But what?
all right, just
She's put her hand- she's
just
put her
grab her
hand
and
up.
take her down, not like spare
Yeah.
tackle her and smash her into the ground.
I thought it was a bit over the top too,
Yeah.
but I've got to say, she's been on radio and TV today and
She's
said,
loving the
she
attention.
said I deserved it. She said I
She
deserved
said,
it.
she
for
said
the
it was a
God.
bucket list to be able to do that.
Is that on your bucket list, Em? To rip your top off and run out the rugby
Anyway,
league
I think
field?
I heard the Tigers
quite.
signed the security guard.
That's a strange old bucket list anyway. I
Yeah.
mean, for me, going to the Masters,
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I'm not sure I've got...
That'd be Danny Wilder just went.
I know, what
Are you
about
jealous?
that?
How did he go?
Has he ever hit a golf ball in his life, that bloke?
Danny Wilder is one of the best journalists,
That's not
in
what we're
Sydney,
asking. We're
and he's
asking...
been
does-
at Channel 9 for a long
That's
time.
not
I don't know
what-
if he's good at golf. I'm not sure. Is that what you're
okay.
asking?
Yeah, that's what I was asking.
He's good. Do you have to be good
don't have to
at
be
golf
good. Are
to
you
cover
good?
it?
Oh,
Yeah, that's
what
a
do you
no.
define as good?
Under 10?
Did you play?
Oh, no.
Did you play rugby league?
No.
But yet you cover rugby league.
Oh, good point.
Oh, wow.
Touche.
Ooh.
Touche.
Wow.
Why don't you go hang out with Braith?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, that's
Or
fair.
Benji.
Not me. I'm on your side, bro.
Oh,
Relax.
sorry. Okay, you're good.
Okay. No, you did very well, Reedy. Great mail.
That was good.
Thanks. Yeah.
Great show. Well done.
Yeah.
Okay. What's on for the rest of the other?
Just chasing some yarns. Em.
Okay, good.
Chasing
We'll read
yarns.
your yarns in the Telegraph. Benji, we'll see you on Benji tonight. Who's
That's
on?
it. Tedesco and Victor Radley tonight.
Very
And we're
nice.
doing
Nice.
a segment with the Fox Addo Carr for his
Ooh.
new clothing label.
His clothing label. What's it
great.
It's
It's called Let's Trot.
Let's
Let's
Trot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well done.
Good
all right,
stuff.
we'll all tune in. We'll read your gibber in the telly. Good stuff. And we'll see everyone next week on the Monday Scrum.